Imagine, if you will, a world where the future of major economies hangs in the balance. That world, dear listener, is not a distant reality, but the world of today. The economic terrain is fraught with uncertainty and teeming with challenges. Firstly, a quandary of considerable magnitude looms over major economies such as the United States. The question of whether to slash interest rates again or hold them high for longer is a decision that could tilt the scales of economic stability. On one hand, lower interest rates could spur investment and spending, fueling economic growth. On the other, maintaining higher interest rates could help keep inflation in check and provide a buffer for future economic shocks. Secondly, rising inequality, political polarization, and institutional failures are casting long shadows over economies worldwide. These issues make it difficult for nations to recover from economic shocks and pose significant threats to social cohesion. To combat this, countries may need to adopt more inclusive growth models, prioritize social spending, and strengthen institutional frameworks. Thirdly, the world is witnessing a shift from a West-dominated unipolar order to a more multipolar and unstable one. Increasing tensions between Western countries and nations like Russia, China, and Iran are adding to global economic instability. Navigating this new world order requires a delicate balance of diplomacy, strategic alliances, and economic cooperation. Fourthly, supply chain issues, lack of production capacity, and other constraints are also posing challenges to developed countries like the United States. Traditional economic levers may not work as efficiently in such circumstances. Instead, more complex combinations of policy changes may be required to steer economies in the right direction. Lastly, currencies, assets, and economies tied to China are seen as risky due to demographic, debt, and overproduction issues. These could potentially dampen China's economic prospects and have global repercussions. Mitigating these risks may involve diversifying economic ties, reducing reliance on single economies, and implementing prudent financial management practices. In conclusion, while the future of major economies is fraught with uncertainty, it is not devoid of solutions. Lower or higher interest rates, more inclusive growth models, strategic diplomacy, complex policy changes, and diversified economic ties are all potential mechanisms to navigate these challenges. However, it is important to remember that these are not definitive predictions, but potential pathways that may shape the future of global economics. Each issue requires careful consideration, informed decision-making, and perhaps above all, a willingness to adapt to an ever-changing economic landscape.